Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to learn about software development in many IT industries. So in software development field, the first phase is a requirement gathering. So client will gather the requirement, they can refine their documentation using a chat GPT, and after once all this refinement is completed, they can give to software development team. Now developer will read that whatever the requirement has been given, and they can use the chat GPT to generate the code. So we will see in practically how ChatGPT can generate your code.
So in software development field, the first phase is the requirement gathering. Suppose you got the requirement creating a login system. So you simply go to ChatGPT and search. You give the prompt to ChatGPT create a login system. Now let's see how ChatGPT will understand. So ChatGPT doesn't have any context. It will just start creating the coding without understanding what is your level, whether you are a beginner, you are an expert, or whether you are looking in a Python language, you are looking in Java language, or any other language. It will just start giving you code based on LLM training. So whatever the training has been done on ChatGPT, it will just generate the code based on that one without knowing any context. So you can see here, you will still get some response because ChatGPT is smart enough to provide all this information, but it will assume so many things. It is assuming that you want to generate the code in a Flask application, Python Flask application, not in Java. Um, it will assume that okay, you are smart enough to understand every concepts about the Python Flask, annotations, everything. So it will generate a very complex code which beginners cannot understand. So if you are a beginner and if you see this code, you won't understand what is this library, how it is imported, what is this connection, what is SQLite 3. I did not include any database. So it will give you, ChatGPT will assume so many things and it will generate a code. So you can see here annotations. So it has, ChatGPT assume that you are aware of the annotations. You are aware of get and post method. So it will give you a very vague code. Imagine you are giving a well-structured prompt. For example, this one: create a simple login system using Python. Now, requirements: username, password-based login. Password must be hashed. Written success or failure. No database. Using memory storage. Keep the code simple and beginner-friendly. And explain the approach before writing code. Now, ChatGPT understand what is your requirement, what you are looking for, what kind of language you are looking for, and you don't want any database. Like here, you have seen SQLite, which you don't want. You just want in-memory storage. And most important, it should be a beginner-friendly. So let's see how ChatGPT will respond over here. So now you can see that ChatGPT provided first approach, like what kind of approach it is going to take to generate the code. It explained here, and then it provided the code. Now you can see this code that only simple function has been used here. So there is a one function, register user function, login user function, and some print statement are here. So if you're a beginner, you can easily understand these functions. You understand how print is work, how Python function is working. So based on that one, ChatGPT generated the code and it explained how it works. So here you will get whatever the requirement you have given to ChatGPT. Based on that only you got the response. Now, let's see another prompt where we are using a role-based approach. So I'm telling ChatGPT act as a backend developer. So here ChatGPT understand that he has to work as a backend developer. Now generate a clean and well-structured Python function for user login. And I'm giving a constraint that use standard Python library only. Include comments, follow readable naming convention, and keep it suitable for the teaching to beginners. So again, ChatGPT knows that who is the audience, and based on that one, it will generate the code. So let's see what kind of code has been generated by ChatGPT over here. So as you can see here, that all the library imported library has been here. The same function would be here, and it has given a comments like why we have used this kind of return statement. It has provided some brief explanation as part of comment. So now you can understand each and every code, and it is still simple to understand by the beginners. So whatever the prompt you have given, based on that prompt only your ChatGPT will generate the code. Let's move to the next prompt. So in this prompt, you can see that explain this code by line in a simple term. Suppose still this is complicated for you. So you are telling ChatGPT, explain me line by line. I want to understand each and every line over here, as if you are teaching to the beginner developer. and also explain why password hashing is so important and why what could go wrong if we store plain text password. So based on your prompt, ChatGPT will explain each and every line. So why this line has been written, what is the significance of this line, and it will give you blocks for each and every code. So now as a new developer, you can understand the code very easily. So if in your company, if you want to understand the code, you simply copy it and tell the ChatGPT that explain me this code. Now imagine a scenario where you want to find out the error in your code. So you are giving a prompt to ChatGPT that the following code is not working as expected. Task: identify the bug, explain why it happened, fix the code, show the corrected version. And here is the code. So I'm just taking a simple code that if username not in users 1234, and I'm getting some error over here. So in your project you have some different error. Just take the piece of code, provide some context to ChatGPT, and ask like why my this code is not working. So what ChatGPT will do, because we have generated code from ChatGPT, so ChatGPT knows exactly where this line is there. So it will come here and says code given username not in users 1234. Identify the variable users 1234 likely undefined in your program. So if we see the code here, so if I'll scroll a little bit up, let me go to the core. Here is core. So you can see here somewhere here, if username not in users, so my actual variable name is users, but I have used in my prompt like username not in users 1234. So ChatGPT easily identify users 1234 is not declared and it is not in our code. So that's why we are getting error. How to fix this code? So ChatGPT has provided if username not in users. So you have to use users as a variable. So if your directory is in users, change the snippet to this one. So this way you can fix your code. Now imagine you have completed your code and you want to write a test cases. Suppose you are a QA engineer and you got the software development from the development team, and now you want to write a test cases. So let me give you this prompt. Act as a QA engineer. So before we had given a role as a backend developer. Now we are telling ChatGPT to act as a QA engineer, and we are telling generate unit test cases for the above Python login function. Requirement is use PyTest style, include positive and negative test cases, and cover edge cases like empty username, wrong password. So let's see what ChatGPT will give you. So now you can see here unit test code. So ChatGPT has generated based on the code, like whatever the code we have given, it has generated this test cases. So you don't have to worry about the basic use test cases. Based on your code, ChatGPT will generate all the test cases for you. So here it will explain what has been covered: positive test case, negative test case, edge case scenario, and your test case is ready. Now imagine you don't understand what are those test cases. Some are very complicated test cases which you don't understand. So again, you can give a prompt, explain what each test case is validating. Also tell what scenario are still not covered and how test coverage could be improved. So now you can see ChatGPT has generated the scenario. Now we are telling ChatGPT only that what are the scenarios has not been covered. So let's see here. And you can see here that it has provided explanation for each test cases. So you can see test cases over here, the second test case, third test cases, and it will provide you all the information what exactly it is doing. Also it will provide a scenario still not covered. So multi-login attempts, password complexity edge cases, username with special characters are not covered. You can take this one and ask the ChatGPT that hey, generate test cases for based on this scenario, and ChatGPT will again generate a scenario. Again you can ask what are the test cases has been not covered. Based on your functionality, you can generate as many test cases as you want. Now once everything is completed, your software development has been completed, test case has been completed. So as a technical person, you need to generate a documentation for the other teams. So you are giving a prompt here that act as a technical writer, create a developer documentation for the above login function, and you are telling include overview, function description, parameter, return values, example usage. So ChatGPT will generate whatever the code has been there. Based on that code only, it will generate a complete documentation that can be used by the various teams. Now imagine you want to generate this documentation on README file. So you can provide like whatever format based on your company's requirement, you can provide that format. So here I have sent generate readme.md file for this mini login project, and I said include this section. Whatever this template in your company is being used. So you can provide that template and ask to generate a README file format. So as you will give here, that here is a clean beginner friendly README file format. You can simply copy this code and put it in your GitHub, and it will generate a beautiful document. It will generate a beautiful document over here.
Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to see the real use cases of generative AI in a retail industry. Think about the last time you went shopping and felt like the store just got you. Maybe it was a perfect recommendation or a support chat that actually solved your problem in a seconds. Behind that magic is a generative AI. Today we are looking at the three biggest ways where generative AI is making dramatic change in the retail industries. First, let us talk about product recommendations. We all have seen those standard messages like you might also like bars. But generative AI takes this to a whole new level. Instead of just looking at what you bought yesterday, it acts like a virtual stylist. It can look at your personal style, the current season, even your upcoming travel plans to suggest an entire look. For retailers, this means shoppers are not just clicking, they are actually finding things they love, which leads to a much higher conversion rates and fewer returns. Then there is a supply chain, the backbone of any store. This is where things are get really interesting on the business side. Generative AI is incredibly good at demand forecasting. It can analyze massive amounts of data like what is trending on social media, the local weather, even global shipping shifts. The predict exactly how many items the store needs to stock. This solves the two huge problems at once. It stops stores from having too much unsold inventory cluttering on the warehouse, and it makes sure the item you want is actually shelved when you go for a bite. Finally, let's talk about customer support. We have all dealt with those old school chatbots that give you a list of links. Generative AI is replacing those with a truly conversation assistance. These new bots can not only understand your complex questions, but handle returns and talk to you almost in any language with a tone that's very helpful and more human. For a business, this means providing 24 by 7 support without messing overhead. It means getting customer problems solved instantly without waiting on hold for 20 minutes. Now, to bring all this to life with a practical example, let us look at how Amazon is using generative AI. They recently launched a new AI shopping assistant called Rufus. Imagine you are planning a camping trip. Instead of typing tent, sleeping bag, or backbone separately and then go through all the reviews, you can just ask Rufus, what gears do I need for a 3 days camping trip in a mountain? Rufus will not only suggest a curated list of relevant products, but also summarize key features and even pros and cons based on the thousands of customer reviews. It is like having an expert sales assistant who has read every single review on the site and knows exactly what you need for any situation. So we can say that whether it is making shopping more personal, keeping shelf stock, or being there for a customer around the clock, generative AI is no longer a future technology. It is the new standard for the retail.
Hi. So let us check it out how Amazon Rufus is changing the retail industry in a practical way. So as you can see, we have logged in our Amazon account, and if you see on the top left side, you will see the Rufus, and here you can provide your questions. For example, as we discussed that you are going for a camping and you don't know what are the equipments you are required, what are the things you have to take in at the camping, and this is your first time you are going for the camping. So I have given a prompt here that what gears I need to take for 3 days camping trip at the campground in the mountain during summer season. This is my first time going for camping, and I provide that prompt, and Amazon Rufus will identify what are the products I require during the camping. It will research about those products and it will start searching for those products. So as you can see here, that first product it has recommended as a tent. When we go for the camping, we require tent. Then we need a sleeping bags. So I don't need to go through each and every product one by one and search by myself. Amazon Rufus will do all this research for me. So with one prompt, it give me all the details. So here I can just go through those product, and if I require, I can just add it to my cart and then I can purchase it. I don't have to do all this research which Amazon Rufus did for me. So now you can see the how this AI agents with generative AI agents changing the how people are shopping on the retail websites.
Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to see the real use cases of generative AI in the field of marketing. Think about that feeling when you have a brilliant idea for a project, but you sit down to actually write it and your brain just got blank. Or frustration when you launch a product, you work for a month and only realize that market has already moved on something else. We all have been there. But what if you had a partner that could do heavy lifting for you? Today, we are talking about generative AI that is going to replace the guesswork out of marketing and making it actually fun again. But first, let's talk about the struggle keeping up with the social media and blogs. It feels like a treadmill that never stops. This is where content generation comes in. Instead of starting from zero, you can tell the AI your main idea and it gives you a first draft in seconds. It is like having a creative assistant who never gets tired. You can take a long video, prepare an article on it, and post before you even finish your morning coffee. It is not letting a robot to do all the works, but it is all about letting the AI handle the boring part so that you can focus on the unique things that only you can provide. Next up, being noticed online. We used to spend all our time trying to trick the search engine with specific keywords, but that does not really work anymore. Today is all about being helpful. Generative AI tools are incredible at looking at what people are actually asking, then showing you how to answer those questions better than anyone else. When you stop worrying about algorithm and start focusing on being best answer on web, your traffic starts to take care of itself. Finally, let us look at the market research. In the past, if you wanted to know your customers liked your product or not, you had to send out the surveys and wait weeks for a response. That might not even be honest. Now, we can use AI to analyze thousands of online reviews or social media comments instantly to see what people are actually frustrated with. You can even ask AI to act like your target customer and give your feedback on an idea before you spend a single dollar on it. It is like having a focus group in your pocket that is available 24 by 7. At the end, marketing is just about telling a story to the people who need to hear it. Generative AI does not change that goal. It just gives a better set of tools to get the job done. Whether you are a developer building a side project or a pro running big team, these tools are here to help you work faster and dream bigger. Marketing has always been important, but now it is finally becoming accessible to everyone. So this is all about a different use cases about the generative AI. I'll see you in the next video.